The following program is intended for mature audiences.
My sporting world is in tatters. I can't believe I'm looking forward to Angel Spring Training, which will again lead me down a path of death and despair.
TBS, America's #1 independent television network, presents the following sports exclusive.
You're listening to Basically a Sports Show.
Follow us on Twitter at Basically Sports.
Subscribe to our podcast on iTunes.
And check out every episode of the show at basicallysports.tumblr.com.
Now here's your hosts, Zach,
Greg, Mike.
And you're listening to Basically a Sports Show.
I don't know what to say to you, man. That was tough to watch.
It was probably tough to watch even if you didn't have a team involved.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
As I said to you guys yesterday, that was miserable.
Frustrating, I would imagine.
To have the Super Bowl within your grasp for nearly the entire 60 minutes, not within your grasp, but within reach.
You were one score away.
Literally, you're one play away, and you just can't get anything going.
They punted 8 straight times to start the game.
Yeah, there you go. 0 for 8 on third down. And then in the second half, they would get a big play that would immediately be followed up by a sack or a penalty. Unlike when the Rams were shut down against Chicago, I felt like Chicago was actively doing things to disrupt the Rams and the line and the running game. And it seemed like the Bears were doing it to the Rams, whereas this game felt more like the Rams doing it unto themselves. Jared Goff looking like a deer in the headlights most of the game.
To me, it looked like the Patriots defense had them figured out.
I would go with that too. Look, Goff did not play well. I'll be the first to admit that. And the defense for the Patriots, they were putting 6 on the line a lot. They were getting really good pressure. I got to give them all the credit. They played great. The only defense on the field that I thought played even better was the Rams.
That's the other thing that's so frustrating is the only thing the Patriots had all day was Edelman. He was cutting them up all day. What do you have? 14 catches, 141 yards?
At one point, Julian Edelman had more yards than the Rams.
I think that because he's a little white guy, we don't think of him like this, but he's just a damn good receiver. He gets open. I mean, I read a thing today where his average, I think they called it cushion or whatever, was 3.9 yards.
Yeah.
That's over 10 feet that he's working with on every play. The thing that astonished me, and we talked about it for 2 weeks leading up to this game, the key for the Rams to this game was the defense. It had to play great, and it did. Yeah. It did everything you could possibly ask of it. You give up 13 points, you should win every single time. Every single time.
And even when the Patriots were getting those yards with Edelman, they were all in between the 40s. You know, the Patriots would get inside the Rams territory and just stall. The
first time a team got into the red zone in this game was with 7 minutes and 3 seconds left in the game.
Yeah.
I don't want to take anything away from the Patriots, and here's what I saw happen yesterday. Belichick just does what Belichick does. Okay, if this is the game we've got to play, then I'm going to beat you like this too. I mean, I just don't know what you do.
That was kind of what I took away from it, is that, like, I don't think Belichick – I mean, obviously, if you're a coach, you don't want to see your offense sputtering like the Patriots did for most of the game, but I kind of think in my mind Belichick was like, this is fine. We have their offense contained. We can still do this.
I know people are tired of him, and I get it. Believe me, I'm tired of him too. But my God, you can debate Brady versus Montana, Brady versus whoever, Manning, whatever you want for the rest of your life. There is, I think, no debate whatsoever who the greatest head football coach of all time is, without question. And
not even question, no.
For Rams fans and for people that just didn't want the Patriots to win, watching them be one play literally away from being in that game, it was driving me nuts.
And they had those one plays more than a few times. Like, they had the throw down the middle to Cooks at the back of the end zone.
That was a hell of a defensive play.
McCourty made a great play on that, man. I mean, that's
if you see the wide angle shot, when the instant that Cooks gets behind the defense and puts his hand up, McCourty is like 2 yards from the sideline.
Yeah, he books it.
He makes a diagonal straight to the goalpost and knocks it down. A great play by him, but that's one that, you want to kind of take back. Like when we're talking about where the Rams are looking for just one play that'll get them over the hump, you look at a play like that, and then there's another one. It was another throw to Cooks down the near sideline, and it would have, if he had completed the catch, which he looked like he probably would have, it would have put him at like the 4. Whether they score a touchdown or not based on how the defense are playing, who knows? But in a game where it is that close the whole time, there are single plays that you can point out all over the place that say this would flip this one way or the other. And the same thing for the Patriots. They had a couple drop passes or just missed plays by Brady, which that if they complete those, then they probably are blowing out the Rams at a certain point.
If you had told me before the game yesterday the Rams defense would hold New England to 13 points, I would have been like, wow, they must have won this game easily. If you would have told me that the Patriots are going to hold the Rams to 3 points, I would have said, you're nuts. That's just not going to happen. I mean, they might win, but it's not going to be 13-3. I remember I was thinking back to when the Chiefs played the Rams, and there was all that talk. This is the future of football. And then we see a Super Bowl where it was all defense all game long.
Yeah, it was one of those games where you're just sitting on the edge of your seat waiting for anything to cheer about. But
what point did it finally hit you like this just isn't going to happen?
The time where it hit me was the interception. I didn't think we were going to win after the interception, and then it just sent me completely over on that missed field goal, because it's like there's not even the Hail Mary chance at this point. It's done. It is officially done and gone, and that's the end of it. So, but to show up on the biggest stage and do nothing. Like I mean, offensively, nothing. The defense, that is the type of performance that defense needed to put up. The offense just didn't carry its weight, and it looked like whether it was Goff getting stage fright or McVay getting in his head or stage fright or what.
Well, it's like Mike said, Belichick just stared at McVay, and that was that. God, it was not a very exciting game to watch. You kept waiting and waiting and waiting for that moment, for a spark from anywhere. I think Mike even said at one point, I don't even care. I just want to see somebody make a first down.
I think it was like a bit into the third quarter. I was like, I don't even care anymore. I just want to see someone convert on a third down.
I mean, if you like defense, that was the game for you, because I don't think it was poorly played by the offenses. No. They just couldn't do anything. The defenses were so outstanding on both teams, especially the Rams. I mean, I know they lost, but my God, they were on the field because the offense wasn't getting them off the field at all. 3 and out, punt. I mean, they were out there a long time and still managed to hold Tom Brady and the Patriots to 13 points. I just couldn't get over it. I'm like, where has this defense been all year? But like Mike said, the Patriots defense, I think, was even better. That was just a game like a coaching game where you just watch it and you're like, okay, it's just clearly Belichick. And the Patriots, too, all credit to them, man. They only did it one time, but just one time was all they needed, where they had to put one drive together to put 6 on the board, and they did it.
And who caught that ball to make that possible? Gronk. Fucking Gronk. Who did nothing all game. And then suddenly he's like, Gronk, catch ball.
Yeah. Do you know this is the biggest margin of victory for a Patriots Super Bowl win?
Yeah. Yeah, all their wins have been by 8 or less.
Yeah. I didn't even realize they went a 10-year stretch without winning one. I'm like, really?
Well, yeah, they went 10 years without winning one, but again, they were
always in the hunt.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. But it didn't seem like 10 years.
People complaining that other people are complaining about the Patriots. Enough of that garbage. Like, they've been consistently good for 20 years. Don't make it seem like they're not this evil force that they are.
Yeah.
So, to me, Zach, you said that you didn't think it was fair to blame Goff.
No, I said it's not fair to single out Goff or single out any. It was not any one person's fault.
I agree. It was a shitty offense. That shitty offense was a team effort. No question about it.
So I'm just trying to think, does this concern you that this is going to be the real Rams that we saw? No, because from what I've seen of them over the last 2 years, generally speaking, this isn't them.
The point I would make too, real quick, is that the deer in the headlights thing with Goff, we saw that in the NFC Championship game, and he righted the ship. Yeah. I don't think this team, because I'll be honest, I don't think too many teams ever see a defense play the way that Pats defense played yesterday.
I was just curious about it because, apparently I've been hearing since the game, reports that like Belichick was sending the Patriots defense out with 2 plays, and they were switching it after Goff's like communique with like after his comm with McVay was cut off, and it's like, oh, Goff sucks when McVay's not holding his hand. Like, I don't know. I'm just trying to get a feel like as a fan base, and I know we don't have the whole Rams fan base here. I mean, we got you, Zach, but like I'm just trying to get like.
No, there's plenty of assholes out there that would say Zach is the entire Rams fan base.
Yeah.
But I'm just curious, like, is there a sense that, you know, maybe there are problems here, I guess, or is it just more of like this was just a bad game?
I think it was just Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots, and you just write it off to that.
The thing to note still, of course, is that Goff is still 24.
Yeah.
And he's made a lot of strides in his game overall. And decision making was one of them. After that Jeff Fisher season, he said, you know, with all my heart, with all my soul, I'm going to fix my issues. I'm going to take this, you know, off season to figure out what I need to do to be a better quarterback in this league. And yes, I mean, McVay coming in helps that a lot. But since that season, he's thrown 60 touchdowns and, you know, led this team to back-to-back division titles.
I brought this up on the forum, so I'm going to bring it up here because why the hell not? The one silver lining in the Pats win is that Julian Edelman, first ever Jewish Super Bowl MVP.
Hey, there you go. All right.
Congratulations to him.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I would say as the only Patriot who consistently produced offense, he deserved it.
You can't give it to an entire unit, although I think you should be allowed to do that, and the Patriots defense should have gotten it. But if you can't do that, I mean, Edelman had a hell of a game. There's no question about it. But
I mean, God, the worst would have been giving it to Gronk for that one catch.
Well, I figured, you know, I was thinking Brady because of the one clutch drive. But
there's no way they could justify.
People were saying Brady. People were saying Sony Michel for scoring the one touchdown.
No, it was either Edelman or either you do Edelman, who was the only offensive player that actually deserved it, or you break the mold and go, look, that entire fucking defense, what was beyond special today, they deserve it.
The best thought that I saw about the MVP had the Rams squeaked out a win like 6-3, as it looked like it might have been
Johnny Hecker.
Johnny Hecker, man.
I you know what?
Hunter?
It might not have, might be.
What the hell?
Longest punt in Super Bowl history.
Longest punt in Super Bowl history. Kept pinning the Patriots back, you know. And
what did you say, Greg? Like, that's the perfect stat for this game? Is that
yeah. You don't think about it much because we don't really think about punting much, but he kept them in that game in a lot of ways.
Well, I can't wait until those scrappy underdogs somehow beat the odds and get back to the Super Bowl again.
I mean, I found that more amusing than anything, this idea that the Patriots were like, because I think this game proved exactly why they weren't underdogs, which is like, you can, and hell, Greg, you said it. You said it on the show. It's like, oh, they're done. But as long as you've got Bill Belichick and Tom Brady, like, you're not out of it. Like, because we saw it in this game. They went up against a Rams team with an electric offense and a killer defense, and Bill Belichick just mind-fucked the shit out of Sean McVay and won that game. And so it's like, when you think about it, when you actually think about it, they weren't underdogs. They always had, like, the keys to the castle.
Well, weren't they the favorites going into the game anyway?
Eventually, yeah. They opened when the games ended 2 weeks ago. The Rams opened as 1.5-point favorites, and then everybody started putting all their money on the Pats, and they opened the game as a 2.5-point favorite.
Just to like talk about that. All you poor schmucks in Vegas who bet the over.
Wow.
I would.
The over for this game could have been 17, and you still would have lost.
Yeah. No. I think the over under was 56. Yeah. And even 2 weeks ago, I said no. You got to go under.
Did I read that right? That was the highest
play like that.
The highest over under ever in Super Bowl history.
Right. Yeah.
It's only 28 points apiece. That seems kind of low to me. Well, in this era,
when you get to the Super Bowl, I mean, this is the exaggerated version of it. Teams try to lock down and control the game, and you're not going to get that's why when people say that Chiefs-Rams game was the future of football, in the regular season maybe, but once it gets to January and February, it's just not the case.
Because if to kind of for a game in the middle of November, right? You can afford to go guns blazing and to be like, oh, they're matching us drive for drive. Well, we're gonna turn it up. But when you're in the Super Bowl and you are one game away from being world champions, you're not gonna go crazy. You're gonna be a bit more conservative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, the only time you don't get that is when you have the Falcons blowing a giant lead.
Jesus Christ!
So I'm convinced that that's the game that solidified Tom Brady's legend.
Absolutely.
And I still I'm just laughing. I'm laughing at the fact, I know it's the Patriots and we all hate the Patriots, but I'm laughing at the fact that the Falcons are going to go down in history as congratulations, you're forever going to be known as the team that blew a 25-point lead in the Super Bowl to Tom Brady.
See, I don't think I hate the Patriots. I'm tired of them, but I don't hate them, actively hate them like I do, say, the Steelers or a team like that. I'm just tired of them. It's you just want to see somebody. It would just be so much fun to the Eagles last year. I don't even like the Eagles, and I was rooting for them because I really, if you got right down to it, I dislike the Eagles more than I dislike the Patriots. I've always just had a thing against Philadelphia teams, but it's just fun to watch somebody knock the Giant off once in a while,
Yeah, but eventually you kind of need to get a new Giant.
Yeah, we do need a new Giant. We definitely do.
It's always good to have a villain and somebody that you're always trying to knock down, but at a certain point, you get tired of it, especially when the villain keeps winning.
Well, that's what I linked to you guys, that Bleacher Report animated thing where it's Brady is Thanos.
Yeah.
And it's
6 titles.
What do you do? We'll get you 6 titles. I don't want to have this debate, and so I'm not going to debate. I'm just stating my opinion. I think you gotta. Brady's the GOAT at this point, as far as QBs go. At this point, I can't. For a long time, I was saying he's 1B to Montana's 1A, but no, it's Brady now.
Dude, you can't throw that out there and say I don't want to debate this. Not to me.
Okay, fine. That's to me. Bring it on.
No, I'm not going to disagree with you. I'm just saying that's not fair. You can't be okay, Montana fan, I'm going to say this, but I don't want to talk about it. No.
Okay, fine. Let's talk about it. Let's just fucking do it. Let's come on. Let's go.
I still put them at 1A and 1B because I think that the game was different in the 80s. It was tougher on defense. They both have things that they do better than the other. I think that Brady certainly did more with less. But I think Montana did it. Montana did it against tougher defenses. I mean, Montana had to play in '84. He had to beat the '85 Bears defense. That was basically that Bears team. I think went 14-2 that year, and Montana beat them in the playoffs. And I think the eye test. I think they're both really good. If there's 2 minutes left in the game, and I've got defense, and I see one of those two across the line, I'm dead either way. I'm just as fucking dead if Montana does it as I am if Brady does it. And I know that both of them are going to do it. So that's my argument. There doesn't have to be one or the other. I think we can have them both. But I think that the conversation drops off considerably after those two. I don't know who he'd put as number 3, but it's not even close. I know that. All right, one more thing on the Montana versus Brady, okay?
Okay.
How much does looking cool while you do it come into this?
I don't know. I mean, Tom Brady with his Uggs, that's pretty cool.
I'm just saying, and like Zach likes to point out, Tom Brady kisses his kids on the mouth. It turns out his owner, too.
Yeah, he almost kissed Robert Kraft on the mouth.
That was just weird.
A little bit.
And so I was seeing a video earlier. Was it earlier today? But it was Brady right after he was with Giselle and whatever. He's talking to his kids, and you see him keep leaning in to almost kiss them right on the mouth, and they're kind of his kids are kind of turning their heads.
Back off here.
And then I think it's Brady's dad was right there and was talking to the kids, and it looked like Brady's dad went to go kiss one of them on the mouth. So maybe it's just
a family thing.
A family thing.
Wow.
I guess that's the only way you would learn that.
I was just having too much fun watching that clusterfuck that was like the first 3 minutes of the post game.
I loved that. Was hilarious.
Wasn't that the greatest thing?
You guys can tell me how it went, because the instant that the Patriots got the ball back after that missed field goal, I got up and left the room.
Oh, dude, it was great.
There was no way I was watching them accept another goddamn trophy. Not in hell.
It was amazing. It was such a clusterfuck. Nobody knew what was going on.
Right. None of them knew they were on the air.
Yeah.
So you're hearing them asking questions and stuff, and it was the best.
And the CBS reporters trying to get Tom Brady, and like he's just like not even paying attention. He's like celebrating with like his team, and you hear like the CBS lady in the background like, Tom, Mr. Brady,
Tom. It was so funny. It was great. It went on for like 3 minutes. They just had no clue what was going on.
It was just like crowd noise,
right? And you'd hear like a hey, can you get out of the way? Or no, I've got him over here. And it was just so much fun. I was like, I love when this stuff happens. Just love it. I tell you who I feel bad for is Tony Romo. His first Super Bowl, and this is what he gets.
I felt really bad for Tony Romo in the pregame, because they have Tony Romo talking with Tom Brady.
Oh, yeah.
Like, Ben Roethlisberger.
I saw this.
Ben Roethlisberger, like Peyton Manning, and like, it's Tony Romo essentially asking them all what it's like to be in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, you've just mentioned 10 Super Bowl rings that he's talking to there. I
love Tony Romo as a commentator, but like they did him no favors by basically having him be like the annoying kid asking like all the popular kids like, what's it like?
Just in case you forgot, Tony, we're going to run these guys past you that all have at least 2 Super Bowl rings, and you get to talk to them about all this stuff.
Well, not a big deal. Fine.
Yeah.
But the opening, though, with Peyton Manning, which was, again, great.
Yeah, that was good. I liked that.
I bow before Peyton Manning, master thespian. And he's like, I don't even know what thespian is.
When it comes to the commercials, I have the USA Today ad meter.
Ah, okay.
The results for the rankings of all the commercials. The number one was the NFL 100 Years commercial, which I actually liked.
I liked it too, but I don't know that I would give it number one. I thought it was. I love the idea. Thought it was a really cool thing. I thought they dragged it out a little bit.
I saw the behind the scenes filming that they did, where like some of those, like there's a lot of just cutting and it's all on sets, but there's actually a few of them that they're physically like throwing the football to each other. And, like, they're all in the same room, and it's just one big shot. I was like, oh, okay.
And then, of course, there was the scene where Tom Brady takes off all of his rings, like, here, hold these.
To Baker Mayfield? That was pretty funny, yeah.
Yeah, real fucking hilarious.
Yeah. But no, I'm with Greg. Like, that, I enjoyed that one, but I wouldn't say it was the best one of the night.
Yeah. It was 30 seconds too long, I thought. I thought they could have gotten the same message across more quickly. And I was pretty pissed that they had Montana go to Rice and then Dion intercepted it. I'm like, hey, come on now. Bad enough I'm going to have to hear about how my boy is not the number one quarterback anymore. Now you're doing this to him? But it was good. I liked it, but I don't know if it was number one.
Number two.
You show respect for Leon Sandcastle.
Number two was the Amazon Alexa commercial with Harrison Ford and his dog.
That wasn't bad.
Number three was the Microsoft Xbox commercial with the disabled kids and the controllers for them.
That was, I thought, really well done. That was,
it was one of those heartstrings ones.
Heartstrings, definitely, yeah.
Number four was the Hyundai elevator commercial with Jason Bateman.
I thought that was pretty funny.
I really liked that one.
Yeah.
And then number five was the Verizon commercial with Anthony Lynn about the car crash.
Yeah.
Which I was saying to the people I was with, like, I wonder if any of those people asked him, like, hey, coach, what happened in the divisional round?
Yeah, we're glad you're alive and everything, but, dude, what the fuck?
It's like, look, Phil's got his demons when it comes to Tom Brady, and we're trying to work through those.
Yeah, well, I think we all have our demons when it comes to Tom.
I'm trying to. So there. I mean, there's 53 of these things, so we're not going to go through all of them, obviously. But the one of the ones that I liked was the Bud Light Game of Thrones one.
Oh,
that was good. That was really good.
It kind of came out to you by surprise because you're like, oh yeah, the Bud Light commercial, okay, everything's normal. And then when he gets hit off the horse, you're like, oh wait, something's wrong. What's happening? Oh my god, that's the mountain. Oh my god, that's a dragon. Oh my god, they're all dying. So yeah. I think that was supposed to signal the end of that ad campaign, by the way, because now they're all dead.
Oh, okay. I just thought it was like I liked the crossoverness of it. I thought it was pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty. They have the ad meter has that at number 16, which
is far too low.
Yeah. I think that's a little low, but that's probably something like if you don't watch Game of Thrones, you don't know what the hell's happening.
Well, see, I don't, but I still got it. I still got what they were doing, and I thought it was really well executed.
Is there any other ones that stick out to you as good that you want to know where they're at?
I thought the Kia ad, that Give It Everything one, was really fucking strange.
Oh yeah, the one about the small town in Georgia.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah,
that was weird, right?
That one was weird. Like
they have that at number 22. By the way.
I remember turning to like the people I was with, going like, "Okay, Kia."
I thought the other ones were good. I liked all the T-Mobile ads.
Yeah, they were pretty good.
Really good, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But the highest they have for any one of those is number 24, where the dad is texting his daughter.
Yeah, like, and you know what? Of those commercials too, I thought that was the weakest one because that's just such a tired trope at this point. You know, dad can't use Google or whatever. Come on.
The one I really liked was the guy's getting a text from his girlfriend, and it's like just ungodly long.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like I just need to find myself, and then there's like this. It's like this fucking novel.
Yeah. I live the dinner one every day.
Oh yes,
believe me.
That's very.
It's like wherever you want. Yeah. Can I still get tacos?
Sometimes I just want to go. Do we really? After 20 fucking years, we're still doing this every day? But I don't because
Yeah.
But anyway.
I'll do the bottom three here. I actually don't remember these first two. The number 56 is TurboTax and the RoboChild.
I did not see that one.
I saw that one. That was freaky as shit.
Yeah, I see a screenshot from it. I don't want to live in that world.
It was disturbing. Like, okay, so the premise is you guys didn't see it. Is this guy has his friends in his garage, right? And he's like, look what I made. I made an artificial life form. And it's this robot child with this creepily realistic looking human face on it.
Ugh.
And like the whole point of it is the kid, like they ask, he's like, he's fully intelligent, like ask him anything. And so one of the guy's friends asks him like, oh, okay, what do you want to be when you grow up? And like the robot child goes, I want to be a TurboTax like tax consultant.
Right, because that's what every kid wants.
Yeah. But the whole point of it is like everyone else in the commercial telling the robot child that he can't be that because like TurboTax has real people, not machines.
So basically they built this kid and then treated him shitty.
Yeah, and then not only that, like the kid goes, "Oh, I'm sad now," and starts to cry. Only like the whole joke is that he's been like programmed wrong, so instead of crying, he laughs.
Wow.
It was really
that's like a long way long way to go for a pretty weak concept too.
It was just like unnerving.
Yeah, that's a long way to go for something that's pretty weak to start.
Number 57 was Wix.com with Carly Kloss. She's a model. Just telling you that site.
Project Runway, blah, blah, blah.
You've seen that in 100 different ways before.
Yeah.
And then the dead last, which I think everybody in my party agreed that this was terrible. And why would this be your ad? It doesn't make you want to do anything. Was the Burger King Andy Warhol one.
I mean, it's real footage. This actually happened. The only people I see benefiting from that were Heinz ketchup. Because that bottle is prominent. I mean, that's like, hey, this is free, free Super Bowl ad for us.
I didn't even get it. It's like, what? Andy Warhol ate a Whopper. Okay. Like,
I guess, is this the message? Like, if Andy Warhol eats Whoppers, you should too?
Yeah, because the hashtag is eat like Andy. But it's like, that didn't make Burger King look appetizing or make me want Burger King at all. Not that I ever want Burger King.
No. It just looked like schlumpy fast food. Like,
yeah. Right. They didn't. Normally in these fast food commercials, you have these I mean, even Carl's Jr. and Hardee's are making fun of it now with like the close-ups of the burger and it's all glistening and all that sort of stuff. But like this is like, yeah, it just looks like a haircut eating a greasy hamburger.
It wasn't even like a perfectly put together burger like you would see in a commercial. It was just, he pulls it out of the bag, and I do that though. I dump a little ketchup out and dip my cheeseburger in ketchup all the time. So I thought that was neat, but
yes, but it was still just like,
I
these commercials that are trying to entice you to get a product or make you want that product, that didn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
at least for the people that I was involved in that. The halftime show, I know that you weren't all on the up and up with that one, Greg.
I first off, I don't think Maroon 5 is very good.
Well, they're not. They're good in a recording session. They are not, from all accounts, from people that have seen them before, even before yesterday, they're just not good live. They just can't reproduce what they do in a studio in a live environment.
Well, I would think not. I mean, having heard their music, it's very tough to reproduce that live, and especially in a situation like the Super Bowl, which I don't think they were playing it live to begin with. Maybe they were. I don't know. I was hardly the only person that didn't like that show, though. I mean, I heard that it got a lot of backlash.
Yeah, it's just Maroon. Like I like that they did 3 songs off their first album, which I thought that they were going to do at least one, and then try to do some of the more modern stuff that is a little bit more popular. Whereas this one's just like good music, and they went with that. But they're also not Super Bowl halftime show songs. They kind of bring the mood down a little bit, which isn't what you're looking for out of this thing.
Yeah. I don't think they're big enough to do the Super Bowl either. I mean, everybody knows who they are.
Yeah.
But I don't know that they have the wow factor like Lady Gaga would have, or Beyonce. They aren't that level. And
Greg, we all know you won't be happy unless it's like
Foghat,
Metallica, or
I would. Metallica doing a halftime show would be awesome.
Fuck yeah, it would be.
They would put on a hell of a show. They've long passed their relevancy. People know who Metallica is, but I don't think that they would be on any short list to put together a halftime show at this point.
Don't you think? Though, I mean, it's the Super Bowl. I mean, I get it. They family, blah blah. Fuck that. This is the kind of music that people listen to when they get psyched up for a game. They are a football game band. Oh, sure. It would be awesome. I think the Metallica.
They come out, enter Sandman, and go through the whole thing.
You better believe it, man.
I'd be down for that. And it just the other thing that didn't work with the whole thing was you have Maroon 5, they have their style, and I get that they're trying to get these guest stars in to like beef it up a little bit, but Maroon 5 does not mesh with Outkast and Travis Scott. It just
no
matter how hard you're going to try to work them in, it just did not gel whatsoever. Very abrupt cut to the other ones.
I'm wondering too. I know that really Metallica's about it, and then really we've kind of the well's pretty much dry as far as like classic rock
bands. You can do Foo Fighters. Foo
Fighters would be good. That'd be great too, and they're still pretty relevant today. I think Metallica is too. Why not get some of these huge country bands to play?
Yeah, I
people
think
love that shit. I mean, it's not good to blow stuff up to and all that, but still, it's I don't think it would be bad. I don't know why they make such a big deal out of the halftime show anyway. Let's go back to Up With People or our marching band and say fuck it and be done with it.
I was going to say, Greg won't be happy until every halftime show is the local high school marching band.
That's right.
One of these guys I know that's not completely as into football as other people are. He was always made the joke to me of wouldn't it be weird if we just had a giant concert and then played like a 10-minute football game? It's like, yeah, probably.
That would be weird. There's no question about it.
It's like, all right, guys, we're going to go take a break. Come out, the Patriots and Rams play for 10 minutes. And then Metallica comes back out for their second half of the show.
I think there are so many people, and not even big Metallica fans. There just seems to be this movement that Metallica has to do the Super Bowl halftime at some point.
Well, they're a big enough band. They have the theatrics. They have like the catalog to support a show by themselves. Like
they are pretty heavy though by comparison to what most Super Bowl shows are.
Yeah, I don't know, but I think they would have to limit it to the stuff that's hit more commercially, like pretty much the Black Album.
Right.
They wouldn't be able to do stuff like their
For Whom the Bell Tolls or stuff like that.
Yeah.
For Whom the Bell Tolls is awesome.
Especially because some of those songs go on a little long.
Right.
I think it's at a certain point you almost need to do. Like, I think this would have been the perfect time, especially with Bohemian Rhapsody, the movie being out there. Instead of doing
Queen.
But instead of just having Queen play or get Brian May or whatever, you do a Queen tribute with a bunch of different acts.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I think that would work. That way, you've kind of killed two birds with one stone.
I think that's the best way to go forward because it's clear now that there's no longer any current act that can headline on their own right now with these things, and especially with people declining to do it, and that's part of the reason why they got some Maroon 5 and others kind of mixed in. I think that's a great idea. Maybe I should.
Well, yeah, and Queen, they've got Adam Lambert singing lead now, who was, I think it was American Idol, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you've got the...
Yeah, and even with that, because you have a couple of the guys, you could bring out actual Queen to perform with them. They did
a whole show after Freddie Mercury died where they did a Queen tribute show where the three guys from Queen played, and they had, there was George Michael played, and Axl Rose, Elton John, and that's basically how they did it. But yeah, you could do something like that. We'd probably missed the boat on Queen because by this time next year we'll have forgotten about Bohemian Rhapsody, but...
Yeah.
It went off the rails with the whole Janet Jackson thing back in, what was that, 2004 now? It's been a long time.
2002.
And they've been so freaked out about it ever since that it's just kind of...
Well, that's why we got The Who and the Stones and...
Oh, I felt so bad for The Who because they are so good live, and they just... I don't know what happened. I don't know. It went south quick on them.
Yeah.
McCartney, Jesus. I mean, God, I love the Beatles. I love Paul McCartney, but enough already.
Yeah, he could probably stand to take a retirement tour.
Why not bring U2 back for another round? I mean, is there some rule that says we can't have a band twice? Because they killed.
I'm just over Bono.
Well, I think we all are. But
I can't name the last. I guess the last relevant album they put out, besides the one that got forced on everyone's phone,
oh Jesus,
was probably Vertigo.
Oh, Vertigo. Hello.
I would say that album's called How to Dismantle an Atomic Bomb. It had about four good songs on it. Their last really, truly great U2 album was All That You Can't Leave Behind. They have sucked ever since. Just flat out fucking sucked. Those two new albums they put out, Songs of Innocence and Songs of Confusion or whatever the fuck they were called.
I just love that they were brazen enough to get their album forcefully uploaded onto everyone's phone. Who the fuck do you think you are?
I'm a U2 fan and I'm like, I want this shit. What are you doing? Bono, you fucking weirdo.
Yep.
I'm just saying. Anyway.
Next year the Super Bowl goes to Miami. Super Bowl LIII.
So who are the Patriots playing?
Yeah. Look, you want to think that this is okay. They're on their way out. We thought that they would be on the way out when they lost, but here they still are.
Oh no, they're going 14-2 next year. Home field advantage throughout, and they're going to beat my Cleveland Browns in the AFC Championship game at Foxborough.
Baker Mayfield will break both of his legs, therefore ending all hope for Cleveland.
Right, of course. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I think the early contenders are some of the same ones that we saw already. You have your Chiefs and your, I guess the Browns. Or do we want to throw the Browns up there yet?
I don't know if I'm ready to go quite that far yet, but maybe in 2 years, yeah.
I'm willing to say next year that the NFC North, not the NFC North, the AFC North will be a race between the Ravens and Browns.
Who do we like as a surprise out of both conferences next season? Like a team that's just going to be way better than anybody thought they were going to be.
It won't matter because the Patriots will win.
Right. Well, we're not going to worry about that until we get there.
See, it's tough to pick a surprise so far out.
I think that for the 49ers, this year was the best thing that could have happened to them. Because now they get to load up on more draft picks. They were already pretty competitive. And if Garoppolo is the real deal, they're going to be loaded for bear next year. Maybe. But maybe. It depends on that front office. I mean, they don't seem like they're the brightest bunch.
Yeah. I mean, they'll compete. They'll give the Rams at least a tougher time in the division. which could be good for them in the long run of things. I'm the things that I'm concerned about maybe aren't the surprises, but in terms of moving up, but I think surprise in terms of moving down. Does Drew Brees have another season like this in him?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Like
was Phillip Rivers the same thing? You know, can those guys keep this up?
I think Phillip Rivers has a better chance of repeating just because he's younger. Yeah.
He's not even that much younger though. He's like what, 36, 37?
He's not that much younger, but I think that Drew Brees is really getting up there, and I think Drew Brees is in a position where and you see it all the time. Like you saw it with Brett Favre, right? Where
37.
You saw it with Brett Favre, right? Where Brett Favre, his second to last season, he was playing like at the best that he had ever played his entire career. And then that last season, after he came back, he was off the entire year and didn't even finish the year due to injury, and that was that. So I think that, I'm not saying that Drew Brees is going to go out there next year and be horseshit, but I am saying that when you get to that late in your career, sometimes these amazing seasons like the one Brees just had, sometimes that's the final hurrah.
I'm surprised that Drew Brees is only 3 years older than Rivers.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of odd.
I think too, you got to always take into account the whatever you want to call it, the disaster factor in losing a game like they did. Yeah. Excuse me.
Oh.
You know, we saw what happened to the Falcons and the Saints. You know,
to a lesser extent, the Seahawks too. I mean, they haven't been. They
haven't fallen apart. But
they haven't fallen apart, but they have not been at that level since that game.
No, that's what I mean. I think I don't think the Saints. I don't think they have to have Brees have the kind of season he had this year to still be good. But they've got to figure out a way to work Kamara and Ingram into the game more and all that stuff. But
speaking of New Orleans, this is the front page of the Times-Picayune.
Oh, for fuck's sake! Yeah, and they had some big protests yesterday too.
Yeah, they had a parade.
Oh, for Pete's sake,
it was the
guys!
Super boycott party or something like.
The New Orleans had the lowest rating of any market in the country for the Super Bowl.
Hey, you know what though? I admire that they stuck to their guns. Good for them.
The lowest ever rating for a Super Bowl in New Orleans ever. Look, and then this front page is asinine too, by the way.
Yeah, it is.
So for those that obviously can't see it, the front, it's completely blank with just the word Super Bowl. What Super Bowl? And the only thing else on the front page is at the bottom, it has the little reefers to the inside where it says Patriots 13, Rams 3, super boring. In the lowest scoring NFL championship game ever, New England beat Los Angeles. You think the NFL is sad the Saints weren't in it to spice up the night?
Probably not.
It's like, I know you're mad, but it has been 2 weeks.
Yeah, it might be time to grow up. I mean, just fucking grow up.
Get over it, you Southern fried, entitled asshats.
I mean, when the Nashville Predators fans make you guys look, like when you make them look good, something's not right here.
And yes, this is going to get you attention, but again, you're the newspaper. You're not the Saints.com.
No, you're not a mouthpiece for the team.
That's bad. I know that you're trying to be the voice of the people in that way too, but come on.
They got to grow up. Look, you got screwed on a call. I mean, if you were the first time it ever happened, all right, maybe I could see this reaction. But my God, it happens all the freaking time. We could do 3 shows on nothing but bad calls that happen to football teams in just the last 5 years. So fuck off and shut up and grow up and get over it. This is why nobody likes you anymore. No one. I mean, I like the Saints. I don't like them anymore. This is bullshit. Time to grow the fuck up and just, put your big boy pants on and deal with it. Come back and play next year, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I wouldn't be surprised next year to see, again, both Rivers and Brees decline, although I would still say I think Rivers has a better chance of repeating. I mean, it is only a 3-year difference, but as we saw with guys like Brett Favre and Peyton Manning, sometimes it only takes 1 year to go from, elite talent to you're too old to do this shit anymore.
Yeah, how old is Breeze anyway?
40.
Ooh.
Tom Brady's 41.
Yeah, Tom Brady's immortal. There's a difference.
Breeze just turned 40 in January, so.
And Tom Brady's 41, but he also has his mineral water. So
yeah, and Brady is a special case. I mean, it's as simple as that. I mean, he's just a guy that is doing things that not many people can do, and I don't think that Drew Brees can play at the same competitive level Tom Brady can at age 40. So we'll see. Mm-hmm. I just, it's weird. It's like the season seemed like it went on forever, and it's like, wow, it's over already. Weird. But yeah, here we are. Looking at next season already.
Yeah, well, guys, the season, you forget how long the NFL offseason actually is.
It's like a week, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, in terms of time between games. It's February 4th. The next football game will not be played till what? Mid-August? Mid-August?
What are you talking about? Next week, the Alliance of American Football starts.
Oh, yeah?
Yes.
Is that going to be on TV anywhere?
CBS or Fox?
CBS Sports?
Yeah.
I think it's CBS Sports, not CBS.
Admit it, we're all going to watch. If nothing else, just to see the uniforms.
I mean, I'll watch the first broadcast. I'll check it out.
Yeah.
Is it AAF?
Oh yeah, I believe.
Yeah, we'll have to check the uniforms out.
Let me pull up the schedule.
While you're doing that, I will relate a story yesterday. One of the guys in my band, his wife posted a thing yesterday. She's like, "It's driving me nuts that the blue in the Rams helmets doesn't match the blue in their jerseys." And I'm like, "You're one of us. You're a uniform geek. Welcome to the club."
One of us. It does start next weekend, Saturday, February 9th. San Diego takes on San Antonio in the Sand Bowl, and Atlanta goes to Orlando in a regional clash. Then on Sunday, February 10th, Memphis takes on Birmingham in a Southern brawl, where Salt Lake takes on Arizona in the nightcap.
Every one of these leagues always has a team from Birmingham. It makes me wonder why the NFL never went to Birmingham as an expansion site. Because every other league thinks it's good enough.
Although it's funny because the AAF going to Birmingham locked the XFL out of Birmingham. So the XFL who starts in 2020, they have a team in Tampa.
There you
so
go.
I could get in on the ground level.
There you go.
Of XFL Tampa action.
There you go.
But
these games are going to be on regular ass CBS.
Nice. Good contract for them to have.
You know what? I'll check it out. I'll check out Atlanta at Orlando. Go.
Sure.
Who's the Orlando team? I don't even know.
So here's the TV schedule for next Saturday. Saturday and Sunday. On Saturday, it will be a regional thing, I guess, because both games are at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. Both games on big CBS with the
double header.
No, it's not a double header. It's they're playing at the same time.
Oh, regional.
Yeah.
Wow, they must really think themselves pretty big.
The Atlanta Legends will be at the Orlando Apollos.
Go Apollos!
Go Apollos, baby. That's right.
You'll have Andrew Catalan and Gary Danielson on the call for that one.
Wow, Gary Danielson.
What, they didn't get Romo? Come on.
Then in the game here in Texas, you'll have the San Diego Fleet at the San Antonio Commanders.
Well, that's going to be. I think you got to throw out the records when those two meet.
Oh, Greg, I hope you don't get this one. Your announcers, Spiro Ditas on play-by-play, and your analysts, a 3-man booth with Trent Green and Tiki Barber.
Fucking Zeppo Barber. I can't get away from him.
Trent Green?
Yeah, Trent Green.
Seriously? They got Trent Green is calling the AAF now?
Trent Green.
Well, these are some of their NFL teams. Gary Danielson did the SEC.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then on Sunday, it is a doubleheader, but on two different networks. The Memphis Express will take on the Birmingham Iron.
Go Iron.
On the CBS Sports Channel.
Are you in on the Iron?
I'm all in on. I don't know why, but I've always loved the Birmingham teams in all these leagues. Like the Birmingham Americans in the old WFL, and then I like the Stallions.
Birmingham Barracudas in the CFL.
The Stallions. Although I was a big Breakers fan in the USFL. I don't know why. I like the Breakers, the Portland, New Orleans, Boston Breakers.
And then in a really weird move, the night game at 8 p.m. Eastern, you have the Salt Lake Stallions at the Arizona Hotshots. That game on NFL Network.
Really?
The NFL is allowing this onto their own airwaves. Yeah.
Well, that's just kind of like saying we see you as no threat whatsoever.
I guess.
I don't know. Let me pick a team here. I don't know if I want to be a Birmingham Iron fan or not. I'm kind of like digging the Orlando Apollos.
I'm going all in on the Apollos. Florida represent.
I do have some more information, including head coaches for each one of these teams, if that will affect your decision.
It probably won't, but if you want to listen, go ahead.
The Orlando Apollos, they will be coached by Steve Spurrier, head ball coach.
Oh, the old ball coach getting back in the game.
The Atlanta Legends will be coached by Kevin Coyle.
Never heard of him.
The Memphis Express will be manned by one of the monsters of the Midway, Mike Singletary.
Oh, he wasn't so good with the Niners. We'll see how this works out.
Can't coach him. Can't play with him. The Salt Lake Stallions, again, will have another press conference darling. Dennis Erickson. Or no, sorry, I'm thinking Denny Green. This is Dennis Erickson.
Oh, he's not exactly he's all personality himself.
Yeah, the Arizona Hotshots will be playing out of Sun Devil Stadium, where Dennis Erickson once coached terribly.
Dennis Erickson won a national championship with the Hurricanes, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Arizona team will be coached by Rick Neuheisel.
Hey, Rick Neuheisel making his return to college football. Not exactly.
Now, this one I find very funny. The San Diego Fleet will be coached by Mike Martz. Mike Martz,
former Rams coach, the guy who lost to the Patriots.
He's still around?
Yeah.
I didn't think he died or anything. I just figured he would have retired.
Yeah, like he's out of football, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I would think the same about some of these guys, but hey, a paycheck's a paycheck.
Mike, did you check out these badass Orlando Apollos helmets?
No.
Oh, man, go to the AAF website. It's AAF.com.
Okay.
And then click at the top of the page with the Orlando Apollos. These helmets are pretty cool.
Oh, yeah, look at that.
Not bad, right?
Look at that.
The only other coach you would know, by the way, is Mike Riley is coaching. I think
Oklahoma State was he Oklahoma State? Oregon State, right? I always get them mixed
San Antonio.
Up. Cool. We'll have to check this out. We will have a full report on next week's show.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I mean, guys, Saturday is my birthday. I am not watching the AAF during the day. So.
I will watch a little bit. You know what? Speaking,
I will give the Orlando-Atlanta game a good, honest.
So will I, Mike. Text me when you're watching, and you and I will watch it and see what we can come up with.
Oh God!
Oh my God! This Orlando thing. It says football doesn't end this February. Spurrier is back.
Oh,
buy
geez.
tickets.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna go buy tickets to watch the old ball coach run up and down the sideline. I don't think so.
Throw his visor around, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a page. Who are the Orlando Apollos? A look at the offense, defense, and special teams. Quarterbacks. So your three quarterbacks for the Orlando Apollos. These are our guys, Greg. These are our guys. Kevin Anderson.
Oh. Never heard of him.
What?
Austin Appleby.
Wait, what?
Garrett Gilbert.
Wow.
Gilbert has been named by Spurrier as the starter.
We might be in trouble here, Mike.
Pardon?
We might be in trouble here.
But Spurrier has named Gilbert the starter for Week 1, but he likes the entire group.
Well, that's coach speak for you, right? I'm on the team's the Apollo's shop, their page here, man. Looking at some
Okay.
Get out of here. Oh, that's I was going to say. If I get a 39-30 hat, I'm buying that bitch.
Gilbert has the most NFL experience in the group, spending time with 5 different NFL teams, including 2 stints with the Carolina Panthers.
Hey.
I thought I remember the name barely.
He's not exactly a dual threat quarterback. Gilbert does have the mobility to avoid the pass rush and extend plays.
I have to say I I'm also on the shop here, Greg. I am amazed at the amount of merch they have.
Yeah, so am I. I'm digging it.
It's not just like a T-shirt and a hat. It's a wide variety of stuff.
Okay. Here are our running backs for the Orlando Apollos. Akeem Hunt.
Okay.
Ernest Johnson.
Oh, I think I remember that name at some point.
Devon Smith.
Nope. No.
Hunt has played in 30 NFL games since 2015, most recently with the Kansas City Chiefs. Johnson, South Florida product. Yeah, okay.
Ooh.
That's that.
So they're playing Atlanta. The quarterbacks for the Legends.
Okay.
We got
presumptuous as a name, by the way.
Peter Pujols out of Holy Cross. Matt Sims out of Tennessee, and I've heard of this guy, Aaron Murray out of Georgia.
Hey,
yeah, he's a guy. Denard Robinson from Michigan is a running back.
Who? Oh, yeah,
Denard Robinson.
Wasn't he used to be the quarterback, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I'll check out a little bit of this. Why not? Hold on.
I can't believe this thing's actually existing.
Not only does this thing exist, Zach, in a year, this thing's going to exist alongside the XFL.
Oh my God, Mike.
Yeah.
You remember the Korean kicker the Chargers had?
Yeah.
Young Ho Koo.
Yeah.
He's playing for the Legends.
Oh.
As you guys can see, I have already switched my Skype avatar over to the Orlando Apollos here.
Yeah,
I'm going to make a sig for the boards with these bad boys here. I got to find some good stuff to use.
Apollos. I'm all in.
Oh, get out of town. You guys have got to see this. Hold on a second here. This is the best thing ever, man.
The Orlando Apollos are a more likable football team than the New Orleans Saints. I said it, right here.
All right, wait till you see this. Wait till you see this beauty. Hold on a second here now. Check out this. A fucking roundel with the launch.
It's a roundel.
Talking about their first game, the launch game.
And they made it look like a NASA mission patch.
Right? That's what I'm saying.
Oh, I'm saving this.
Oh God.
Launch game, mission 1.
Right? Is that awesome or what?
I am curious just to see how desperate people are for football to see if this works.
Oh, here's a look at the uniforms.
I mean, the Pro Bowl does ratings, so I would imagine.
Well, the uniforms aren't the greatest, Mike, but they're not terrible either. They're all right. All right, our Apollos.
The San Diego Fleet doesn't have a bad alternate logo for this hat.
Let's see. There's the Memphis Express. What's the Birmingham Iron look like? Ooh, I don't like that at all. I'm glad I switched.
I mean, look, it's the freaking Alliance of American Football. Uniforms are as good a reason as any to choose a team to be loyal to.
Yeah, and I'm digging the Apollo with the arrow thing there. So, anyway, boys, we are closing in quickly on 2 hours here, which means I'm going to have a shitload of editing to do. So, let's wrap it up here.
I might have to just really stick with San Diego. They got an Arizona State quarterback, Mike Bercovici.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, I remember that guy.
All right. Well, like I said,
we threw a Hail Mary against USC. That's all I know of him. We
will see how it goes with the American Alliance of American Football or whatever it's called, and maybe we talk about it next week. Maybe we don't.
Oh,
in the meantime, you can follow us on Twitter at Basically Sports. Subscribe to the show via iTunes, Stitcher, Spreaker, and YouTube. And with that, we will see you next time. Thanks for tuning in. And go Apollos!
Go Apollos! Launch game mission 1! Woo!
Go Fleet!